Okay, so the next tip is a big one, which is kind of counterintuitively, don't use reverb at all. So you don't always have to use reverb. There's different ways of creating spatial effects without having to use reverb. So let's choose a sound to have a look at. Here's the guitars. So we've got some effects baked into the guitars. But rather than adding reverb, what I've done here is added in a stereo imaging plugin. So it's creating a spatial effect without having to add in effects. Now, I know, as I said, it's got some reverbs baked into it, but I do this all the time, even when there's no reverb involved. So using like harsh effects and stereo imaging effects can be a really good way of not having to add reverb to cloud things up. But even more kind of importantly is just using early reflections, which we've kind of touched upon, but we haven't actually gone through it specifically. Okay, so let's have a look at Valhalla Room for this. So depth control, it says, controls the balance between early and late reflections. So if we have this down to the bottom, we're only hearing the early reflections. Remember from the first video, those are the first reflections that we hear. So now the decay control is not going to do anything. Okay, let's take it out. So no early reflections. Early reflections added in. Let's exaggerate it. So it allows you to have like a reverb or a space without having to have all of the potential negative sides of a long reverb tail kind of clouding things. Now the early reflection size is super important here because it's going to allow us to determine the kind of space that we're in. So without it. It's going to be like super tight. It almost becomes like phasey sounding because it's so tight, like 4.6 milliseconds is tiny. And the pre-delay, we have no pre-delay. It's like a phasey kind of effect. Out. So it adds a sense of space. Without actually having to add reverb. Now, another way we can do this is adding slap delay. Now, I'm sure we're all used to slap delay, so kind of fast delay algorithms. That can be another great way of creating front-back perspective. Anytime you want to grab some extra sense of spatial kind of awareness to a sound or spatial contrast to a sound within a mix, then adding slap delay can also be a great alternative to reverb. So this tip is don't always use reverb, reach for delay, slap delay, stereo imaging effects, and also really importantly, early reflections to create sense of space and width as well. You can use early reflections to add width to sounds. Do that without having to always resort to clouding your mix and filling up all the space with reverb. Okay, let's head into another tip. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.